So a lot of the time the news can be kind of negative in nature and there's not a lot of real positive stuff out there. So every once in a while, if I find a story that's like actually positive or like kind of lifts us up and makes us like have some restored hope in humanity, I think that's important. I'd like to start including some of those in like my daily videos. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a more positive, upbeat video that actually has like a good ending and might help restore some faith in humanity that you have. So the story I want to talk to you about today is the story of a guy who's an 88-year-old Army veteran named Ed Bombas. All right. Now, Ed Bombas, like I said, he's 88 years old. He's an Army veteran from Michigan. He spent decades working as a salaried employee for the Delphi Corporation, which was a parts supplier that spun off from General Motors. Okay, now he retired in 1999, with a full pension, expecting a comfortable retirement with a GM Delphi pension, right? He had health coverage, life insurance, all kinds of stuff. He was going to be collecting that. He worked his whole life after he got out of the military for Delphi Corporation, expecting to be able to get this pension, right? Now, everything changed in 2009 when General Motors filed for bankruptcy during the financial crisis after the 2008 recession. Now, as part of the restructuring, the Federal Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation took over the Delphi salaried pension plan. Now, when that happened, approximately 20,000 Delphi salaried retirees, including Ed, had their pensions drastically reduced, or in many cases, completely eliminated for certain benefits. Imagine that. You work 20, 30 years for a company expecting, hey, this company's going to take care of me. I'll be able to get my pension and I'll be able to just live off of that for the rest of my life until I'm in retirement age or whatever, until I pass away. Well, unfortunately, as a result of this, Ed lost most of his retiree healthcare coverage and all but $10,000 of his life insurance policy. Now, without this, Ed's wife, Barbara, who was battling a serious illness about, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, he was left virtually powerless to help her. Because without the expected pension and health care, the couple had to sell their house and virtually everything that they had asset-wise to cover the medical bills of his terminally ill wife, which is absolutely atrocious to hear. Like that is like awful. Not only is this dude an Army veteran, so he served the nation and sacrificed part of his life to serve the country, but he worked for 20, 30 years for, General Motors or Delphi Corporation and then lost everything as if he had never done any of that. Just basically spend your whole life working to work. It's terrible. So he's 88 years old, still working because he can't afford not to, So unfortunately, his wife, Barbara, ended up passing away from this terminal illness in 2018, which left Ed alone and financially ruined after selling everything they had to try to pay for her medical costs. And it's still not cutting it. So at 88 years old, Ed went back to work full-time, 40 hours a week, as a greeter at a Mayer store in Woodhaven, Michigan, standing for 8 to 8.5 hours a day just to pay bills. Now, here's where the story becomes positive. All right. In November of 2025, a TikToker named Sam Wiedenhofer, and you can find his TikTok here, Sam Wiedenhofer, he received a message from a follower saying there was an 88-year-old Army veteran working at their local mayor who'd lost everything because of the GM Delphi bankruptcy. So Sam, who has a track record of highlighting veterans and elderly workers, drove from Ohio to Michigan to find this guy. He located Ed's working his shift and struck up a conversation with him and then filmed a short, heartfelt interview with Ed's permission. And then in the video, Ed calmly but emotionally recounted the fact that he lost his pension and his health care when his wife was dying from terminal illness. He talked about how he had to sell everything that they owned. And then he talked about having to return to work at the age of 88 when he should be relaxing in retirement because he has no other choice and can't afford anything. He still stayed positive and tried to maintain positivity. He said, quote, "I'm fortunate God gave me enough body to be strong enough to..."
Of course. I don't know what to say. It's going to go a long way to help me.
Give you a hug?
Yeah, thank you.
Now, Sam posted this video on his TikTok on November 26, 2025, with the caption asking people to help Ed finally retire. He set up a GoFundMe titled, quote, "Help 88-year-old veteran Ed retire." Now, this is when my faith in humanity was restored to a certain degree. Now, the video blew up, went crazy viral. Within 24 hours, they raised $100,000 for Ed. Within 3 days, they had raised $500,000. And then by December 3rd and 4th of 2025, they had surpassed $1.2 million for Ed, and it's still climbing. Now, as of the latest updates of December 4th of 2025, the GoFundMe raised more than $1.25 million from over 45,000 donors. Donations range from $5 to tens of thousands of dollars, with messages like, quote, "Thank you for your service. This should never happen in America," and "Retire today, sir." Now, the aftermath and Ed's reaction has been pretty heartwarming as well. Mihir, his employer, issued a statement praising Ed as a beloved team member and said they're working with him on next steps. The local news in the area, WXYZ Detroit and Click on Detroit, and national outlets picked up the story because it was honestly nice to see that people care, you know, that this guy was stuck in such a terrible position. Ed told reporters that he was, quote, "overwhelmed" and didn't expect anything like this. And when Sam told him the fundraiser had hit 1 million, Ed reportedly said, "You're kidding me," and started tearing up. Now, Sam Weidenhofer has promised 100% of the money goes directly to Ed, with plans to help him set up proper financial and legal safeguards so he never has to worry about money again. Now, I think that the reason why this story blew up so much, and first off, I want to make sure that we express gratitude to Sam Weidenhofer for doing this, because like there's enough negativity on the internet, you know, there's enough negativity. So it's nice to see somebody doing something positive using the internet and social media. This is the whole reason why I started in the first place. So this right here, this story makes me want to do more to help people. So I appreciate the work that Sam Weidenhofer's done, and hopefully his video inspires other people to do similar things as well. You know, long story short, within 2 weeks, complete strangers on the internet totally changed the direction of an 88-year-old Army veteran's life forever, and provided him with more financial security than decades of work would have been able to provide him. So thank God M. Bombas can finally retire on his own terms with some dignity and be able to like live out the rest of his life peacefully without having to grind a 9 to 5 after working 30, 40 years of his life or more. I mean, he's been working his entire life, you know? So this right here is going to enable him to actually like enjoy some retirement and like stop working as an 88-year-old man who should not have to be working anyway. And I'm sure that this is an all too common story. You know, I'm sure that this thing happens over and over again across America. I'm sure it happens all over the world, because there's a lot of places there are no such things as pensions. You just work until you die. You know, that sucks. Especially if you serve your country as a veteran, like an Army veteran like Ed. You know, you sacrificed a lot. You served your nation. You know, you worked your whole life at a corporation expecting to get a pension, and then it gets ripped away from you. Not only that, but like his wife being diagnosed with a terminal illness and passing away after they sell everything trying to pay for it because they can't afford to, because the company was no longer providing him with a pension or medical benefits that he thought he was going to be getting. There's no way to prepare for that. There's no way to prepare for that. I think the greatest moral of this whole story is the fact that this type of thing should inspire everybody out there to use the internet for good. Do something positive for somebody. Try to help people when you can. Try to be charitable when you can, you know. And I mean, this is the whole reason I started social media in the first place, is because I wanted to be able to help people. Now, obviously, I've gone like this. It's gone all over the place. There's all kinds of things that have happened. And some of the things that I do are like in order to build up to do things that are positive in nature. But I love seeing stories like this, and I need to see more of them, because there's, like I said, there's so much negativity out there on the internet, and there's constant rage bait from all over the place, from all kinds of crazy stuff. And a lot of the news oftentimes is negative because that's what gets clicks and views and engagement. This type of stuff doesn't always get that much engagement. But I think that we need to highlight these positive situations a lot more, because not only does it encourage more people to do positive things for each other and help each other like American community, but we should encourage positive behavior. You know, we should encourage people to want to help each other, help your neighbor. It doesn't work the same when the government forces you to help each other. It works when the community wants to help each other as a whole, because the stronger the community is, regardless of what community you're a part of, you know, the better everybody is. And I guarantee Ed would have given the shirt off his back if he had a shirt to give off his back to help somebody. And, you know, the internet totally changed this dude's life. And it's good to see that there's actually some people out there that care. So anyway, I thought that was a really cool story. And, you know, if I find any more positive stories like this, I'll definitely bring them up and let you guys know, because I think this stuff is important to cover too. I'd like to cover more positive stuff in these longer form videos anyway, because the internet can be kind of negative sometimes, and that can be daunting on everybody's like emotional, mental, spiritual psyche. So I'm going to work on trying to see if I can find more positive videos down the road in the future as we keep moving forward doing this stuff every day. All right, guys, that's it for the daily roll-up for today. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. Believe it or not, it does help support the channel when you watch the video from start to finish, because it tells YouTube, hey, recommend this video to other people. So another way you can support the channel is you can like this video, you can leave a comment in the comment section below, or you can share this video with your friends. So thank you so much for watching, and as always, we will see you guys in the next video.